Alright, hello everyone. Tonight we're playing a little game that I've been working on. In which actually this is the second version, as the previous version was a little light on a lot of rules. I'll basically be kind of explaining, because I actually have like an entire rules document at this point. Just gonna pull that up for reference in my second monitor. So to start the game, we've got to shuffle these two decks. This right here is what essentially this game's equivalent of a creature token, as seen in Magic the Gathering. Really, as you might see later, a morph token. You know, a card to cover up another card to indicate that an effect has happened. Alright, so basically the way the game starts is that we grab the first character off the deck and kind of toss them onto the table, and here we have Kruz with his new art, thanks to new Age Wonders for Dragon Dawn. I can already see where I might want to make one small adjustment. Actually, yeah, that's a little bit better. The background affects the lighting. So instead of doing this in a cathedral, we're doing it on a random street. So basically, each character has two abilities. He's up to 2 types. And 3 stats, those being robustness, gregariousness, and brains. Because originally it was going to just be like strength or prowess, charm, and probably either brains or craft. But I decided, you know what? I've got them in RGB order. I might as well roll with it. So basically, the Cross doesn't really have anything to strategically do at the moment because he's alone. So actually, he does have one thing he can strategically do, which is he can go into stealth, which, with the updated stealth rules, usually you roll with the robustness is against the brains of all characters within 3 cards. Cards being this game's basic measure of distance. Like this is 3 cards of range, this is 3 cards of range, and so on. However, since Kruz is alone, like there is nobody within 3 cards or anyone on the field in general other than Kruz, he can go into stealth immediately. So basically, the first thing that happens at the start of each round is... I will be right back. Alright, I thought there was something I needed to go do, but apparently not. Basically, what happens at the start of each round is just as before, we sort of fling the top of the character or deck onto the field. Let's see, this time it's Dave Strider, who has actually been updated from the version and in the last year's stream of this, in that now he is no longer God tier by default. In fact, God tier is an upgrade that applies to Dave, Dirk, and Vriska. We'll see more stuff about upgrades later. Alright, so we have Dave here. All of his stats are 2s. And his types are Steel and Cool. Oh, and when he comes into play, you roll a d6. It's not a 6, so no temporal clone. So now oh, you know what? Actually, Dave does not know Cruz is there. So instead, in fact, actually, turn order goes in the order in which characters entered the battlefield. Well, does it ever? So it's actually Cruz's turn first. Cruz is going to make a ranged attack from a distance of let's see. Free distance ranged attack, so that means Cruz is going to attack with Scourge. Basically, when a character attacks, they choose one of their. They have 2 different types because some characters do have only one type. So Cruz is going to attack with Scourge. Which is basically the type of, criminals and skullduggery. Scourge is... Apparently I failed to... Oh, wait, no. Scourge is abstract because it's about trickery. Which means it uses the brains stat. So that's 3 from brains. Actually, Dave is defending with steel, so the blue dice are supposed to be for defense. So now I need 3. 3 red dice for Crez's brains. +1 for being a lone combatant, and another +1. You know, just +1 for being a lone combatant. Because this is a surprise attack, Dave gets half of his normal defense dice. However, because he gets 3 special range modifier dice because it's an attack happening at range. Basically, if Crez doesn't beat all 3 of these range modifier dice, the shot will just sail off and do nothing. So basically, the way this works is it kind of works like Risk. Like you take the dice and then you pair them up. With the higher dice winning. So unfortunately, Crez almost got a critical hit, but it landed here. And now Dave has been alerted to Crez's presence. Because Crez had to pop out where he was hiding. Hiding to attack. Having to make adjustments to the hide rolls because I realized that Crez could potentially do something very broke. Alright, so basically, because Dave is not within 3 cards of Crez, I've basically added in, yes, because he was attacked by Crez directly, he gets to roll if Crez tries to hide again. So Crez has to roll robustness of 2 versus Dave's brains of 2. Crez also gets an additional +1. And for having greater gregariousness, well, for having greater brains than Dave. Because, you know, this, like, teenager to young adult is squaring off against an immortal wizard king. And of course he's gonna get outwitted. it a little bit. So that's 4 dice. Nice for Cruz to try and go into stealth. So pretty much the only reason we even have to roll is because if Dave succeeds at all, he gets a bonus. He gets an additional die when he actually takes the seek action, and on his turn. Because basically each character gets an attack and a non-attack action, or two non-attack actions. So, similar to like first edition Pathfinder. But basically if there's no one to attack, you always get a non-attack action. Otherwise, you always attack. Alright, so Cruz gets 4 dice. Dave gets 2. So Dave does get 2 successes, so he gets +2 to seek Cruz on his turn. So now it's Dave's turn, so he has the first move, which is 1d6 plus robustness. So we don't even really need to roll for his move, particularly, because I'll allow diagonals. At least once per movement. Yeah. He's able to move right up next to Cruz. So then Dave gets to take the seek action. And so versus target's brains, use to find hidden characters. Hidden characters get +1 and for each card away they are. So that's 3 defense for Cruz. And Dave gets 2 for his brains, and then another +2. But it's like my best friend. I know I need to give a week, but I just can't seem to do it. I know I need to give a week, but it's just so hard for me. Real, I'm doing one of the best rapper alive. I'm also the best at filing taxes on time. I always make sure my taxes are filed on time. I never let this down. Okay, so that's I'm the one they can trust. When it comes to taxes, I'm the king. I always make sure I get it done. So don't be late, don't procrastinate. Make sure your taxes are filed on time, or else you will end up like me in jail. So that reveals Cruz. That was to Dave. Dave doesn't get to attack this turn because he's out of actions. And we have our first event that does absolutely nothing. Because there's nobody in the discard pile. Just put the discard pile there. Because events basically act sort of like, I believe they're called phenomena in Plane Chase. Alright, so Kruz, so it's now Kruz's turn. So Kruz is going to try to move away. That's 3 plus 2. However, because he moved away, he can't take the stealth action because he has to attack. Because he has somebody that he can attack. Only this time, it's worse. Because Dave is gonna get 4 dice for range, plus 2 dice for his robustness. Meanwhile, Kruz gets 3 dice for his Scourge. More specifically, his brains. It's like there's no way he can actually hit, so... Yeah, it's not possible for him to hit. Now it's Dave's turn. Dave is going to move right up. And... he's going to attack with his steel. And Kruz is going to defend with the wind. So basically, like one thing that I haven't fully planned out in advance is having type advantages akin to like Pokemon. Like that's part of the idea behind the typing system. So I'm gonna say wind gets the advantage over steel because you can't cut through air. Like you accomplish nothing if all you hit is air. That gives Kruz an additional one die in defense. Right, so that's a whiff for Dave. Because 4 versus a 3 and a 3 versus a 2. But now we have Marshall, who is mysterious. The opponents get -1 die on their first attack against him, and a Dreamlander, so he's immune to anything of the Dream type, which he is a Dream type himself. So now it's back to Kruz's turn. Kruz gets a move 5. 5 cards away. Now I think I might make an on-the-fly adjustment. Do the hiding and always attack rules again. So I'm going to say because like Kruz can't shoot far enough to hit Dave or Marshall. However, I'm going to add an element of being in pursuit. Basically, if a character was adjacent right before you moved there, in pursuit. If an opponent was adjacent to you before you moved there, in pursuit. Like basically they're actively tracking your movements, so it makes it easier for them to detect you. Because when you try to hide. Right, so that they still get to roll if you're out of their range. So, Kruz still gets 4 more dice. Whereas Dave only gets 2. So just as before, we're just seeing if Dave gets any extra dice to seek. And he does get 2 dice to seek with, 2 extra dice to seek with on his turn. The Kruz is currently hidden. Dave moves 5 spaces, 5 cards to where he last saw Cruz. Yeah, I think this is one way that I've been handling it differently than Risk. I think the rule I'm gonna go with is that basically the highest die basically for hiding it has to be all dice defeated. And so Cruz gets to say hidden. So now Marshall is just kind of over here on his own. So he's gonna... He has to take a second move to get into range to do anything. Because as far as I know, he only has melee weapons and cannon. Granted, like, given that he's kind of vaguely a cowboy, he could have a gun. Who knows? Which, I mean, guns aren't really, like, a dream thing unless they're a dream gun. New character. It's Van. He has a god complex, which means that if an attack inflates his ego, he gets +1, and he gets +1 die for each adjacent ally. And his types are Scourge and Digital. And I'm gonna say Digital is ranged, and perhaps even has the special capability of having like a ranged bonus. But you know what? I'm gonna say that the rule for digital attacks is going to be that if the character has a device on them that has a connection to the internet, they can take a melee hit with digital from any range. However, I'm gonna say that Dave does have the best advantage if he uses cool as his defense. Because what's he gonna do with Steel? Slash his phone open? In fact, I'm gonna say, like, type choices are both narrative and strategic. To keep things interesting. Fool uses his gregariousness is because it's an emotional or chance and type. Because there's three different groups of types. There's physical, which use robustness. There's energy / abstract, which uses brains. There's emotional / chance, which uses gregariousness. Two gregariousness versus 3 brains. Dave is guaranteed taking at least 2 damage. In fact, he's taking 3 damage. Because unlike hiding, you use all of the dice on attacks. Like the defense dice are just opportunities to block some of the damage. So Dave is taking 3 damage. As his iPhone gets hacked. So that's that round. So now we're back up to. Wait, now I did it in the wrong order. Okay, I'm just gonna say going forwards. Newest combatant gets to move first. Then they get moved back to the back of the line in subsequent rounds. Right, Kruz is successfully slinking away. Then he's gonna do a surprise attack. Poor Dave here. So Dave gets 1 undie. Because due to being a surprise attack, he loses half of his defense dice. In fact, he's just dead. That means that we draw an upgrade. Unfortunately, is not one that Kruz can use, as it applies to wealth characters. So, how you handle... So basically, upgrades, you draw the top card of the upgrade deck and apply it, if possible, to the character that got a kill. So you shuffle. If it's not applicable, then you shuffle it back in. And so now Kruz has 1 kill. Then Marshall is going to seize the opportunity. Come in and take a swing. Apparently didn't put it on my list, but Dream is abstract. 2 versus 3. Oh, we don't need a third red die. Cruz is taking 1 damage. Then tragic accident happens. Kill one character or currently in play. Kill a random character currently in play. So Cruz, Marshall, Van. Van's just dead. Alright, so Cruz is going to use wind to attack Marshall. The wind uses brains. It's up against Marshall's brains. Marshall got a pair of 2s. And Crow's got 3 5s, so Marshall's taking 3 damage. And then Cruz is going to move away. All the way over to here. Then Marshall is able to move 8 spaces of 8 cards of his own. Three versus 2. No again. Only this time 2 is the attack. And Cruz takes no damage. So now we have Ginger Brute. Has fast, so he gets +1 movement. So basically his robustness is a 3 for the purposes of movement. And it gets its +1 die when attacking if it has moved this turn. Which I forgot to put the artist credits. Let me look that up. Proper artist credit is Vincent Prose. And Ginger Brute is a sweet character. And sweet is abstract. That's 7. Yeah, even 8, even with 8 moves, it was on the second one, not enough to get adjacent. Alright, so Cruz is gonna make another attack with wind. In fact, actually, that's just gonna kill Marshall outright, because Marshall can't defend against more than against enough of wind. Marshall is dead. And Cruz actually gets something that he can use this time. Basically, Cruz now has a +1 die when using Scourge. Urge as he got an upgrade for his Scourge type abilities. And now he's going to hide. Marshall is dead, so we move on to Ginger Brute. Let's see. I'm gonna say the Gingerbread has to make the seek action. However, it's gonna be the Gingerbread just spends the entire turn seeking, hitting a target, and accomplishes nothing. Because Gingerbread is kinda stupid. Alright, so entering the fray now, we have the Assassin. And who is a pure Scourge character with Sneak Attacker, +1 when attacking from a hidden position. So +1 on sneak attacks. And Fast Sneak, +1 movement when hidden. Also, Fast Sneak. So, hides automatically. He moves to there. Right now, Cruz is gonna try and snipe the Ginger Brute. I'm gonna say that basically has no... That basically makes no difference if this is a sneak attack. Because Ginger Brute is already defending with a 1. No characters are adjacent, so... Yeah, Gingerbread's just dead. Because this is 5 dice against 1. And because 3 plus 1 for it being Scourge. And plus 1 for a lack of adjacent enemies. Wait, actually no. Gingerbrute might survive. In fact, Gingerbrute can survive based on range. Because there's... range because the arrow has to travel 3 cards. Which means that could fall short. Although that is a lot of 6s. Alright, so that's... So first of all... that is going to be 1 damage. Actually, no, that's 2 damage. That's 2 damage on Gingerbrute and a Scourge critical. The critical effect of the Scourge type is the robbed. Lose type bonus on attacks with Well, Steel, Tech, and Alchemy. Alternatively, you may steal 1 non-got your upgrade, so it does nothing. Because Gingerbrute is sweet. And then Cruz gets to hide again. And give at most like 1 die again for Gingerbrute to roll with. Well, actually, there's a chance that Gingerbrute could manage to see Cruz hide. That's a 4. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, Gingerbrute has no idea where this arrow just came from. Then, so it's Gingerbrute's turn. Gingerbrute spins. It's actually, let's see. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. I have 6 versus 1 die. Okay, if Gingerbrute rolls a 6. Yeah, no. Gingerbrute rolls again. Yeah, I'm going to roll 1 on both attempts to seek. He's not even looking for the assassin. Let's see. 2 plus, yeah. Rushes over here. Air pops out for a sneak attack. That's 3 dice versus 1. And Gingerbread dies. And it's because he's already taken 2 damage and is guaranteed to be taking 2 more. And so, upgrade card, it's paycheck again, so it gets shuffled back into the deck. And so now we have Christina Wilkes joining the fray. Hey, she's an angler, so she gets +1 die against water enemies, and enemies are amphibious. And is a genius, so she gets +1 die in defense against tech and digital. Well, +1 die to defense and attack. And she is pure alchemy. Which alchemy is, he also uses brains. She can immediately see an enemy. He's a 3. The assassin's defending with Scourge. 3. He +2. Versus just a straight 3. Yeah, it kind of like she chucks something and it kind of shatters somewhere in this region. I think she's gonna move to there. Alright, Kruz is going to flip back up. And fire off an arrow at the assassin. So that's going to be 5 attack dice versus 6 defense dice. Ace, essentially. So maximum of 1 damage. Like, not even 1 damage because I'm pretty sure because, like, yeah, 2 5s into, it was a 4 and a 6 on the range dice. No way that hits. Just like falls. The Chris just it like slips out of Chris's hand as he's knocking the bow. Oh, that's how bad he fumbled that. And you know, since it wasn't on target, I'm gonna say, since it was so horribly on target and off target, I'm gonna say that Prez gets to hide for free. But instead, the assassin is going to move over here and give Christina a stab. No type advantages here. There, I don't think. However, Christina does have the advantage because she's smarter. However, I'm gonna say attacker breaks ties, so she takes 2 damage and has been robbed. So she loses her alchemy type advantage for 3 turns because unless otherwise specified, all crits lasted as 1d3, 1d6 turns. Basically, she's gonna have to take 6 turns she's gonna have to take 3 turns to set up more alchemy stuff. I'm gonna say the characters can move part way if it's strategically better for their ranged attacks. Like, for instance. Because Christina does need to be within 2 new cards to actually be able to even hit anyone. And it just lands unceremoniously right here. Right, new character. It's John Doss. That's the mech pilot. He's determined to win, so he gets +1 die when attacking opponents with more kills. He's a dirty fighter, so he's got +1 against it, undie against his opponents with at least 1 negative stats effect. Being robbed is a negative stats effect. And he's got the steel and tech types. He moves over here. So basically, steel is going to be sort of just the raw damage of of the gargoyle, whereas tech is going to be more using the specific technical capabilities of the gargoyle. However, I think maybe it's possible that Christina just gets landed on because, you know, this is a mech. That's 3. E4. So 4 for the +1 from being a dirty fighter. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna say it's defense against tech attacks and attacks that are against a tech defense. 4 versus this 3. It's at least 1/6, so yeah, she's dead. So it's 1 die successfully defended against. Actually, no. She just barely makes it through. Wait, no. Because I said attackers win and ties, that would have been enough damage to kill her if she had been on full health. And it was a crit. So if she had survived, she also would have gained the outmoded condition. And John Doss gets an upgrade to steel. John Doss just comes in, literally just lands on her. Barely even notices that she's there because he's focused on the assassin. And she's dead. So that was the top of the round. So and for Kruz to move. Unfortunately, I managed to grab the wrong card, and now it's. I hate how finicky Tabletop Simulator can be sometimes when you're just trying to move basic stuff. Kruz is moving. Like right here. And then it's going to unhide as part of his attack. It's a +1. Five versus 5, essentially. Well, 5 versus 4. So he's probably gonna get at least 1 damage in. However, I will be right back, so we will see the results of this when I return. Alright, I'm back. We've got Kruz with a 5 dice versus the assassin with. We have range penalty, but. Only one actual defense die. That's 1 damage. You know what, actually? I'm gonna say that Scourge gets a type bonus against Scourge. That actually did not help. But no. Yeah. Yeah, still 1 damage. So we've got so far with type bonuses we've got wind resisting steel and scourge resisting scourge. Because criminals know how other criminals think. So now it's the assassin's turn. Assassin moves to here. Okay, I did remember to add in lone combatant. Assassin. It's 2 versus is 5. It's 2 attack versus 5 defense. So unlikely to hit, but could still manage something. Both those are decent rolls, except then Crow's got a 6. 6 and 2 5s on the defense, so it accomplishes nothing. John Doss moves over here and slams Necruz with the gargoyle. That's +1 for determined to win. +1, and so +1 die. And Cruz is going to defend with wind, so... Oh, that is +1 defense, essentially canceling out. Oh, the +1 from determined to win. So hold on, +1. Yeah, actually. Because he's got the bonus to Scourge, not to Wind. That's a couple sixes, so it would be a pretty good defense. Okay, so that's 2 damage. Yeah, 3 damage. And outmoded. Except Cruz is dead. Because that's 3 damage. Cruz's boosted nose here gets shuffled back in, and Cruz is added to the discard pile. Alright, that's another weapon cache. So John Doss is just becoming more overpowered. Also, I'm kind of wondering if the upgrade mechanic might have been a mistake. Because now John Doss is gonna be swinging with 5. 5 just base. Ace with his steel. But you know, it's a new round, so Philip is here. Here, so Philip is a pure wealth character. He gets +1 against non-wealth enemies and -1 die against attacks that inflate his ego because he's self-indulgent enough to actually. Like, actually, we've got commands. Let's. It's been a while since I looked at this command, so let's. Yeah, let's get some exclamation point toll selfs in the chat for Philip. Alright, so Philip comes in. I'm gonna say that. No, I'm gonna say that Scourge is actually vulnerable to wealth. But wealth is also vulnerable to Scourge. So it kind of goes both ways. Wealth is brains because it's about using your money wisely. However, Philip has 1s in all of his stats because he's just some guy. He's rich, but that's about all he has going for him. So that's 2 dice plus 1. No, vulnerability is -1 defense. And so The assassin gets only one die of defense. So the assassin takes 1 damage. So this is more of a attack on his will to fight. Actually, I'm even gonna allow this to be me, Philip, being able to use the ally action, which uses gregariousness. Just roll versus target's brains. Requires at least 1 mutual opponent. On success, the alliance lasts for 1 round for each success. Add 1 die for each of the following. The recruited target has less health than the initiator. Initiator has an advantage over a mutual opponent. And initiator has more kills than target. Is there is an argument for you know what? Yeah. Tech is vulnerable to wealth. Because if you have wealth, then you can just buy the priciest, you can just buy... You know what? Actually, no. Because tech is one thing about knowing how to use the technology, as opposed to just its raw quality. And tech is often exclusive. Not just something that's on the market. So Philip gets 2 dice to try and convince the assassin to join his side temporarily. The assassin agrees to a 1-round alliance. And that's what these pawns are for, is representing alliances. Now it's the assassin's turn. I'm gonna say that tech resists Scourge. However, John Doss is actually better off using Steel. Because he's got so much Steel to use. So the assassin... then gets 2 dice. Versus 5 defense for John Doss. The attack he does land 1 lucky hit. It's time for John Doss to swing back, but then he manages to run 7 away. 'Cause I'm gonna say it's really more of a truce that the assassin and Philip have. And so John Doss moves 2 cards over. Philip has 1 die of defense. And so that's... Actually, no, he's got 2 because it's a wealth enemy. It's a non-wealth enemy. But, you know, he's taking 3. So he's taking a minimum of 3, so the deciding factor here is is he just dead? And the answer is a resounding yes. Bye, Philip. You lasted exactly 1 turn. Right, Mystic Fan is pretty much only usable by Kruz, so gets shuffled back in. And off-screen deaths. Put the top 1d6 cards of the deck directly into the graveyard. So, Vriska. Game Bro. Oh, Clown. Oh, and the zombie apocalypse isn't happening. That's a shame. Because that means that we're probably not going to see any of these characters. Or is it actually the the fray? But you know what? It's probably for the best that the Clown didn't make it in. Alright, so now it's John Doss's turn. You know, it's the assassin's turn. So the assassin is going to hide. Can get a real good hit. Let's see, 3 versus 5 defense. But you know, I'm gonna say because of narrative reasons and also maybe a little bit of balancing, he has to use tech. Because he's not going to see this attack coming. But at the very least he's gonna... Well, I mean, he'll be at 3. Regardless. Oh, hey, no war on China. I'm just doing some stuff with a game that I made specifically to be the finale of each year. They're basically a big battle between all kinds of characters. Like, you know, we've got the assassin from Talisman, got John Doss from some One Must Fall 2098. Eight streams I did a while back. Right now we're trying to figure out if the assassin can kill John Doss right now. Actually, can't, because he has to take too many actions, because the character gets one non-attack action and one attack action that can be turned into a non-attack action if they're far enough, if they're too far from an enemy to attack. Basically, I think what the assassin is gonna do is he's gonna lie in wait. Because he knows John Doss is coming for him. But actually, you know what? I've been kind of making some of the rules on the fly. I'm actually gonna make lie in wait an action. Requires you to be hidden and for there to be no adjacent enemies. And it basically lets you attack when an enemy moves adjacent. However, John Doss does need to use the seek action to actually see where the assassin is now. Seek is against brains. The assassin has a brains of 2. And then John Doss is it also rolls with brains. However, he is up against 4 dice, an additional 4 dice of defense because of distance. However, he does spot the assassin. There is no way of knowing that the assassin is lying and waiting for him to come over. So, unfortunately, he didn't roll high enough to actually get adjacent. And I don't think So start with a new round. Senator Armstrong enters the fray. The only character he can see right away is John Doss. If he rolls at least a 4, he can get in range. However, he does not get enough movement. And I'm gonna say that lying in wait... Actually... Lying in wait is going to be a brains versus your total brains. Names roll to see if you attack somebody that's not your intended target. Just because they moved adjacent. So... Oh, that is... I'm gonna say that's a success. And not just immediately lashing out to somebody that wasn't the intended target. So John Doss knows that the assassin is here. So he's gonna move... Keep not picking up all of the cards in the stack. So he's gonna move over here. But then that's going to prompt the assassin and to make his attack. That's 2 for the Scourge type. Plus 1 for attacking from a hidden position. John Doss gets 1 die of defense. And it's against us. That's using tech. Actually, he gets 2 dice of defense. And it's because tech is good against Scourge. However, he takes all the damage and dies instantly before he actually gets a hit off. Both of those go back to the the upgrades deck. And that's a digital upgrade. So can't apply to a Scourge type character, so the assassin gets no bonus there. Now Senator Armstrong gets +1. So that's gonna be 5 versus 2. Yeah, that almost certainly... Actually, no. 4 versus 2. So these dice alone are enough to kill the assassin. The assassin is dead. Senator Armstrong has one kill now. But extra sugar only applies to sweet characters, so he gets no upgrade for it. We're down to the last 10 character cards. Or the queens are at roughly the halfway point. So now Quentin Wilkes has entered the fray. So he's all the way over here. I'm gonna say that he is actually going to move one. He's going to move towards Senator Armstrong. And he is going to have to put himself at risk because I'm going to say that attempting to form an alliance requires you to be within 8 cards of range unless you have an ability that gives you a boost that gives you the ability to communicate at farther distances. Senator Armstrong is actually gonna walk over here and, not knowing that he's attempting to parlay, he's just gonna punch him. So that's gonna be 3. I'm gonna say the love type, which is his gregariousness. So 3. Versus 2. So 3 attack versus 2 defense. I'm realizing I make a small adjustment to the critical hits roll. The 6 has to be unopposed. Basically, it has to be... I'm gonna say it has to at least not be up against another 6. Maybe actually, probably even like it has to be basically an excess 6. It's like, for instance, if this had been less than a 6, then this would have been unopposed. Instead, Quentin just takes 2 damage. I'm gonna say that the reverse of the conditions of target has less health than the initiator. Initiator has an advantage over a mutual opponent. Like, actually, he can't even try to form an alliance because they don't have a mutual opponent right now. So he's just gonna swing back using magic. So that's 2 versus... I guess I tech for Exen's defense against a non-physical attack. So that's 2 damage on Armstrong. Which really, since Quentin is canonically a fraudulent psychic, and that's his magic, it's more that Armstrong believes that he has been hurt. Or because Quentin is just that convincing. And now Waldo has entered. Or the champion of the bozos. Those is here. However, he's got to move quite a ways. Yeah, he's not able to actually get next to anyone. So we're back to Armstrong. So Armstrong is going to make an attack with steel. Well, so that's just 3 dice versus... two defense. And so that's... that's 1 unopposed die and one die that wins. And it's tie. So that's Quentin out. Unfortunately, extra sugar is not applicable to Armstrong. So gets shuffled back in. Armstrong gets Kaz having another kill. And then it's Waldo's turn. Waldo moves right up. Waldo's type is Joker. So 1, 2, because he's attacking. I'm gonna say the Joker does not count as physical. Because, like, it's not about... Because really, Joker attacks are not about... Oh, like, dealing physical damage. They're about dealing damage to, like, somebody's pride, for instance. And because you made them, like, slip and fall in a humorous way. I'm gonna say that that has to be defended against with tech. Armstrong takes 2 damage. And so that eliminates Armstrong. And you know what? I'm gonna say that since Joker, Joker cards can generally be often, Jokers are wild. So Joker counts as all types for the purposes of upgrades. So now, character number 8. It's John Mole, attorney at law. Oh, from The Sims 2. So allies with no kills get +1 against law, and investigative experience +1 against Scourge, and to find hidden characters. So when Waldo has a kill now. John Mole moves over here and attacks with law. Because he's a pure law type. Pure law, so... Oh, there's a 6. And it's an unopposed 6. So the critical effect of law is called In the Slammer, which shuffles the target back into the deck. The Waldo is shuffled back into the character deck, rather than taking damage. And his upgrade, he gets shuffled back into the upgrade deck as well. Now... I guess say that John just flips over, just hides and lies in wait. Basically, harkening back to his time as an undercover investigator. So... Oh, and... He has no specific target because he has no enemies on the field until Dirk Strider shows up. So because Dirk Strider came into play, we have to roll for his Splinters ability. It's a 3, so no Splinters of Dirk. So I'm gonna say that this is gonna be Law versus Cool. Dirk does have only one in gregariousness. Okay, so he's taking 3 damage just right off the bat. Fortunately for him, he doesn't get thrown in the slammer because there was no 6s. So he gets to make counterattack with his steel. It's gonna be steel against Law. For a total of 1 damage. And then it's John Mole's move. Dirk's probably dead. Because he's defending with gregariousness against 3 dice. Like, yeah. Yeah, Dirk's dead via number of dice. He's basically. And then John will hide. That means this is Steel Dentures, which applies to Vor characters. So since we don't have any Vor characters, so since John Mole is pure Law and not Vor, or he doesn't get a bonus. That's from that upgrade. So now, next up we have Waldo's back. And pretty much immediately he apparently shuffled to the 2nd spot in the deck. Moves 3. Moves another 3, but doesn't have the actions to seek. So on John's turn, he flips back up. So that's going to be 3 versus 1. So that's a 6 defense. Baldo's taking 2 damage. I'm gonna say that Law resists his Joker because Law is serious. And so professionalism makes it hard to... The professionalism aspect makes it hard to like pull a successful prank. Like, you know, you try and pull a prank in court, you're liable to just get thrown in contempt. So, let's see. That's 1 versus 4. Possible it could still go through, so... But it didn't because it's... because John got at least 1 4. Or against a 3. Character number 6. Botched Resurrection. And an event. Return a random dead character to play, but they gain the undead type instead of one of their normal types. Dave is back in play, but he's a zombie. I'll basically just keep the botched resurrection card with him. As a reminder, but he doesn't... he doesn't roll a 6 for his temporal clones this time either. I'm gonna say that the undead type replaces cool. Well, because he's a zombie now. So he doesn't really have a cool to keep anymore. Or that comes with having a non-rotten brain. So... Shambles over here. And I'm gonna say being undead. Yeah, undead is physical. And law is vulnerable to undead because zombies don't care about the law. Right, that's 1 damage on John. Wait, actually? Gotta redo that because he's adjacent to Waldo. But yeah, actually no damage because of the -1 die for being adjacent to Waldo and not attacking Waldo. So now... it's John's turn again. John's gonna attack Waldo with Law. So as to not have to suffer the penalty. Alright, Waldo's dead. Because that's 3 damage. Edge against somebody they have already taken 2 damage. However, the Book of Spells applies only to magic characters, so John does not get a useful upgrade. So instead, he's going to move 6 spaces away. And Zombie Dave is going to attempt to pursue but ultimately does not have enough did not get to move enough to make an attack. So now we have the wizard. Wizard has 3 he brains, so he gets attacks at a plus a 4. Yeah, I'm gonna say he moves just a little bit. And then blast Zombie Dave with the good old fireball. So that's 2 dice for range and 2 dice for defense. And it's a 6, 5, 3, and 5. That is 2 damage. Almost could have been a crit, but maybe it'd been a little bit closer. However, I think that is going to get Zombie Dave's attention. John gets to move first, so John's going to heck with Law.
This most blessed of albums is available for purchase now on compact disc as well as limited edition.
However, because zombies don't care about Law, Zombie Dave does get an additional die of defense. So it does nothing. Then Zombie Dave will move. Yeah, actually, Zombie Dave's gonna stay right here and attack John again because zombies only really register the most recent damage they've taken. And John hit him after the wizard did. Oh wait, didn't take damage, so yeah, he's gonna move over to the wizard. Yep, that's plenty enough movement, so I'm gonna say that magic resists steel. Like, really, I probably could have even said that steel is vulnerable to magic. But I'm gonna say it's too late to at least, you know, backtrack and give the wizard a crit. But going forwards, that will be the case. Two steel versus is 4. Yeah, that accomplishes nothing. Dang it. But then this is the turn that the wizard entered, so it's time for Zealot Jones to arrive. Zealot Jones actually has new card art because I couldn't find the stock photo that I've used for him before, but I do have a stock photo. But I did find a stock photo of what appears to be the same guy, possibly even from the same photo shoot. So that's handy. He moves to here. And he's a faith type. That means that he uses gregariousness. And while Christianity is canon to Talisman, I don't believe the wizard is a Christian. Because the wizard character is by default evil. And all of the Christian stuff requires you to be good, not aligned. So, like, I don't believe this specific wizard is Christian either. Like, not just the wizard character, or like mechanically, he by default, but even this specific wizard. Wait, no, I did include the +1. Zealot Jones gets a +1 to his attack. He's up against... That just means that... Wow. He managed to get one higher than literally all of the wizard's rolls. That's 3 damage on the wizard. And now it's John's turn. Okay, he can move over there, I think. Because he was right there. Three versus 3. Because zombies don't care about the law. Five versus 4, 3 versus 3, and 3 versus 3. So that's 3 damage. Zombie Dave goes back to the grave. And John gets the Guide to Lucid Dreaming, which applies to non-dream characters and allows them to replace one type with dream. So now John is a magic law, Huck is a dream law character as opposed to just pure law. So now it's the wizard's turn. The wizard has Zealot Jones threatening to shove a Bible up his ass, so he's going to move 1 space away and blast Zealot Jones with a fireball. Zealot Jones does not get a bonus for... does not get a +1 because he's being attacked by a non-Christian. So he's going to have to defend with gregariousness against... Oh, and he gets to defend an extra point of defense because it's a ranged attack 1 card away. That's 6 on 4 and a 1. So it deals 1 damage. Thanks to the sheer number of dice. So Jones will step up. It gets 3. He versus 3. Six. Alright, 1 damage goes through. Actually, no damage goes through, so... Oh, nothing happens there. Seems like I may have... Let me just check to make sure that... everything's still live. Okay, good. I saw it saying, I saw my chat window saying, "Welcome to the chat room," and got concerned that the stream had gone down. But everything seems to be fine other than maybe a little bit of an internet hiccup. Which I'm on Ethernet now, so that should help avoid some internet issues. So that was the last turn of that round. Which actually, Zelda Jones shouldn't even have gotten to make a move. But it's fine that it didn't do anything. And here we have Lieutenant Columbo, last year's champion. And because he has the ability right place, right time, that makes it where he always arrives next to an opponent with at least one kill. He arrives next to John Mull by default. And he has +1 I guess the question is, yeah. Law resists law. So John gets to defend with law. Basically, he's defending himself in court now. And so it's going to be 4v4. 6, 5, 2, and 1. 4, 3, 3, and 1. John Mull is dead. Because he took 1, 2, 3 damage. And he never got a chance to use his new dream powers. Plugged in requires for digital characters, so Columbo doesn't get to use it. One, two, three. Yeah, Columbo's just gonna stand right there. And so now it's a wizard's turn. Wizard steps over here and attacks Zealot Jones with a fireball. 3 versus 4 versus 3. 4 versus 4. That was a 6, so I'm gonna count it as a 6. But well, definitely not gonna want to do that very often. that shoves all the checkers under the cards. That was a 6, so cancels out the 5. If it, five is canceled out. This goes into making sure that the range. Actually, no, this die shouldn't have been rolled because of the range. Instead, Zella Jones takes 2 damage. Steps over. Oh wait, hold on. Because Zella Jones has 3 damage on him, he has 1 hit point remaining, which means a vibe checker triggers, killing Zella Jones. Unfortunately, Devious Plot applies to Scourge characters, and the Wizard is not a Scourge character. However, he does now have a kill, which means that Columbo's ability, it will affect him. Alright, mass healing happens. All damage is removed from all characters in play. Which is just the Wizard. In fact, actually, I should probably check. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 characters in the discard pile. 18, 19. I believe I have 20 total characters in the game as a whole. Well, let me check that. Because I'm gonna say that the game ends once we're out of characters, even if the character deck is not empty, because there are event cards in it. So there are 6 event cards out of a deck of a total of there's 21 characters. There's 23 feel like something might be wrong. Wrong here. See, there's 2 here. 6, so there's 3. So that brings us up to 26. Yeah. Something's off. Because there should be one more card. Card by my count. In 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So somebody's missing. Well, somebody or an event is missing. That's 5 events. Right now, 6 events are in the discard pile. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 17 characters are in the discard pile. 18, 19, 20. I've made 21 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, yeah. If somebody's missing. Like, actually, let's... "27 characters. Okay, so whatever character card went missing should be in here. I'm gonna have to figure out which character went missing. So okay, so this is Delicious Buckaroo. What? 23, 24, 25, 23, 24, 25, 26. I'm not seeing what character card could have gone missing. John Doss is here. This is the assassin. All 6 event cards are in the discard pile. Oh, I think Dirk never made it to the discard pile for some reason. That's what happened. I'm not sure why I never... I guess I deleted Dirk for some reason. Alright, he's in the discard pile now. Alright, issue resolved. Oh, we can get back to this. So it's just the wizard's turn. He eliminated Gonzalez Jones, which means that's time for Delicious Buckaroo to make his appearance. And that means that we are getting close to the end of the game, because these are the last 3 remaining main characters. Delicious Buckaroo. Gonna go and attack the wizard. It's the power of love. Because love is real. The game, so that's gregariousness versus the wizard's 3 plus 1 magic defense. It can't be a crit, so but could still do some considerable damage. 6 versus 6, 5 versus 5. Four versus 2. So that's gonna be 2 damage. Edge on the wizard. For some reason it's determined to stack those under the card, when they need to be stacked on top of the card. And now it's time for Columbo to make his move. That's gonna be 3 4 versus 4. Five, 2 5s and 2 1s. That 2 1s. That's at least 2 damage going through, so that eliminates a wizard. That's another kill for Columbo. Unfortunately, the rad shades are only apply to cool characters, so Columbo doesn't get to use them. So the wizard's turn gets skipped because he's dead. So it's Columbo versus Delicious Buckaroo. I kind of wonder if Columbo might be overpowered because this is the second time he's at least made it to the final match. Delicious Buckaroo. Gonna attack Columbo with the power of love. 3. However, I'm gonna say that law resists his love because the law doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about unless it's like an impact statement. However, that is 3 hits. And of course, gotta spend a bit of time sorting out the checker situation. Alright, so Columbo... Actually, because Columbo eliminated the wizard on the turn that Delicious Buckaroo arrived on, Columbo gets to attack first. However, that does the 1, 2, and 3. It does, however, the attack accomplishes nothing. That means that we've got another attack from Columbo. That almost could have been a crit, but that would have just shuffled the Buckaroo back into the deck to arrive again on the next turn. This is going to be the climactic attack. I think. And That is not a single hit because that's a 6, a 6, a 4, and a 5. Negative on defense, and a 3, and 2 3s and a 2 on attack. Columbo goes in for one last swing. 6. That gets through. Columbo wins again. Really, part of it could be... part of what makes him so strong could be that... you know, right place, right time ability of his. But like... this is the second edition of this game. He still won. You know what? Let's see what his prize is. He gets paid. That's his prize. But unfortunately, it's not an upgrade that applies to him because he's a law character as opposed to a wealth character. Alright, so that's gonna be it for me tonight. So thank you to everyone who stopped by, and for that matter, everyone who stopped by throughout this year. Next stream is currently planned for looking like January 2nd with Sims 3. Next stream of this will of course be next year. Perhaps by then we will find a character that can outmatch Columbo. Or, you know, maybe at some point I'll end up having to just retire him from the deck for being too good. Which I have been considering, you know, maybe like pushing the start of my hiatus back or something. Getting like a couple more streams in. But that's a maybe. Definitely not this week. So if I do stream again this year, it'll be next week at the earliest. Now let's find somebody to raid. Let's rate this person streaming Sims 3. Granted, they do have... looks like it could be a Harry Potter pun in their username, so hopefully they're cool. Well, let's not, because we've got they've got their 10 follower only mode, follower subscriber only mode. Actually see, is anyone of interest in the magic category? Hmm. You know, let's... How about we get a taste of what's potentially coming in the next year? But not with that person, I don't think. Hmm. I don't know, I'm not really finding much of anyone in this category either. You know, let's... Here's somebody that could be interesting. So once again, thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight and, you know, again throughout the year. Next stream is planned for January 2nd with Sims 3. If I don't end up pushing the start of my hiatus back like a week. If I do that, it'll be next week with Sims 3, on Tuesday.